everybody. We're back at it again. We're recording for the second time as it's currently Wednesday night. We had recorded last night. Everything went bad. Now we're back at it again. Ian, what's up?
What's up, man? Just had to check out that audio and wasn't the best. But hey, you learn from those mistakes and you grow. So
All right. Wait, I may sound a little tired during this. That's because I initially wasn't prepared to be up this late and record again, but here we are. We're back at it, and we're gonna go through rather than all-time draft stuff. We're gonna go through just pure NBA today. We're gonna talk about the NBA. We're gonna talk about the off season.
yep, should be good.
Should be guys, yes. To start about, we're gonna talk about the NBA draft, the 2021 draft, of course. Some of the picks we liked, didn't liked, overall team looks. Ian, would you like to start us off?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I think that we can just start off by saying the Pistons made the right pick.
Yep.
Cade was the obvious choice there. I didn't see anyone else who really could have gone there. It would have been a meme if they decided to pick Jalen Green.
Absolutely.
I think they kind of just threw that out there to the press to kind of stir up some controversy, but
I hope so.
they made that decision on Cade hours before the draft, so
Yeah.
thought that was a huge W for them. I also thought that Evan Mobley going 3 to Cavaliers was
Perfect.
perfect. Yeah, they made the right choice.
Yes, sir.
And then I also thought the Rockets made some interesting picks. Getting Jalen Green at 2, getting Alperen Şengün at what was it, 15, I think.
Yeah, I'm about 15. Yeah.
And then they got Usman Garuba was probably the best defender in the class, and then Josh Christopher. So it was a really nice draft for them. They're going to be one of the more exciting teams to watch. They might not be very good, but if they hit on their picks, they're going to be something special.
Yeah, I generally agree with that. Their young core is looking pretty nice right now. So if it all comes together, we agreed on this. Dynasty could be the word to use.
Yep. And again, that's their sky almost. Everything has to work out, and it can go better than expected. But they have the right people. KPJ looks really good. Kevin Porter Jr. If they can keep Seawood around, that would be good too for them. So that was a good draft for them. They got the right pieces, I felt. Also, shout out to my Kings. I watched Davion Mitchell last night in the first summer league game, and he was excellent. He was smooth. He has the basketball IQ. He has the work ethic. I love the dude. I'm really happy we took him, even though the fit might not be the greatest, but he could be a really key part of our team for a few years.
Yeah, he's looking like a real workhorse. That's really cool to have.
Yeah, just having that guy that's just wants to be better, and has the work ethic. He also had the best nickname, I felt, of the whole draft. Off night.
Yeah.
He makes other players have off nights. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it is.
He and you know what? He's a champion too, so he can kind of bring that mentality maybe to Sacramento.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure. I look forward to it. I told you this last night, but I think I'll watch a couple of Kings games and report back to you what I see, what I like.
Yeah, we have an interesting core. I wish the Bagley pick worked out, but you win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
That's just the way it goes. You hit or you don't, and we're gonna see that this draft. There's gonna be players who hit. There's gonna be players who don't, and it'll be interesting to see how we do.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were the main four I thought did really good. I don't know if you had any ones that you thought did good other than the ones I mentioned.
I know the Hawks had a pretty solid draft.
Yeah, they did. They picked the faller. They got Sharif, which was really cool.
Yep.
And I think they got Jalen Johnson too.
Yeah, from Duke, I believe. I
Yep.
was really high on him.
Yeah, that was a good draft by them. They again made the right choices. I thought the Clippers did a good job too. I think they got Keon Johnson, and I think they got B.J. Boston and maybe one other guy. Um,
Yeah.
but at the beginning, Boston was a consensus top 3 pick.
Hmm.
Obviously, didn't have the greatest of season, but I feel like the potential's still there. So I thought that was good too.
Yeah, the upside could be really huge for him.
Yeah. Um, in terms of like questionable ones, I I do question the Warriors taking Kaminga.
Yeah, I,
Um,
I do wonder if that's why, as of today, they traded Eric Pascal.
yeah, that was interesting because the Jazz have made some good moves, but also questionable moves. I think we can get into that in
Yeah.
another topic, but
Yep.
um, it was interesting because they made the right choice taking Moody at 14.
Yep, that was solid, but
Even though Kendrick Perkins struggled
Moody,
for about 10 seconds of saying
Moody,
Moses Moody, basically.
Moses,
Yes. And then finally Reese Davis had enough, or whatever his name is, and was just like, Moses Moody.
Moses Moody.
Um, but yeah, they made the right pick there. But Kaminga was interesting because the Warriors are a team that should compete again this year.
Yeah,
So seeing that is kind of confusing, but hey, you never know. He's probably the biggest project outside of maybe Garuba in the draft and Shengun.
yeah. It's
Um,
just like, when you're building a championship level team and you want to have another great year where Curry just thrives and leads you to a championship, I don't know if Kaminga's the guy you take.
yeah, I think they're like we're almost thinking like, oh, maybe this is for the next generation, but
They should
I
be a win now team, not a next
yeah,
generation building team yet.
and if I feel like if they were gonna pick anybody, that would have been like pretty much ready at pick 7. I might have gone Franz Wagner, Franz
Yeah,
Wagner,
agreed.
I mean. Or even just like if you want to add another guy who can just like at any moment pop off, James Bouknight would have
Yep.
been interesting there. But people are iffy on him as well. But I feel like he could be like a good microwave scorer.
Yeah.
Could heat up at the right time. Um, that was definitely one that I was like, huh.
Yeah.
Um, there weren't that many, to be honest, that I was like really like, well, they didn't do a good job.
Yeah, it was a
Um,
relatively fine decision making draft. The teams
yeah.
knew what they wanted to go for.
But Scotty Barnes was definitely one of the bigger surprises. I feel going fourth to the Raptors.
Yeah,
Um,
but it
However, though, like the more I've been looking at that, like he has the potential to be incredible.
yeah,
So
he's a really good fit player from what it seems.
yeah. So I think that's interesting. Obviously they passed on Suggs, who was supposedly just awful in the in
Workouts.
the workouts. Yeah, which is surprising because he's a good player, but
Hmm.
the Magic then made the right pick taking him. They took Wagner. Magic had a decent draft themselves. They just waited for fallers basically, and they got it.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I really loved this draft. And again, I only watched the first round, but I think that this is one of the better drafts that I've seen in my lifetime. I was a wee lad when LeBron went through. I was only about 5,
No,
so I don't really remember that draft. But
dude,
The Zion draft was pretty cool.
Hmm.
But it was kind of like Zion and Ja and RJ Barrett were the like main guys in that draft. So I feel like this draft was the better one.
Yeah.
That I've seen at least. And even last year's draft was supposed to be like low talent, like iffy, but like
Hmm.
it turned out to be pretty good.
Yeah.
A lot of guys performed really well. Quickly was a huge like story. He was a good success. Halliburton obviously falling to the Kings was huge. But again, there were some questionable picks. But you look at that now and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
well, why did they make that decision? But at the
Right.
time, it was like, oh, that might have been a really good pick. That's how I felt about when Jalen Smith got picked by the Suns. I'm like, that might not be a bad pick.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, he's he's done nothing. So, uh, yeah, I mean, I thought this was just a good draft in general.
Yeah, it for sure was. Like, teams handled their business really well. They made some smart picks. It really wasn't that bad. Like the only since I'm more of a casual when it comes to drafts, I'm not like a major scout,
Hmm.
but like the only like pick I really questioned was Josh Primo. I'm still not sold on Josh Primo.
Yeah, I mean, I heard like our previous guest host Cecil is a Spurs fan, and
Yeah.
there were rumors about Primo going around that range. I really wasn't expecting that. Um, but I feel like that was a very Spursy pick. Um, so to say I was surprised, I'm not. But they could have traded down probably. Um, Maybe gotten a different piece to add. But it'll be interesting to see how he does. It
Yeah.
is kind of questionable when you think about it. Why they would choose him at 12 when there were really good talent still on the board.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm gonna try to watch a lot of games this year, so I'll have to see what stands out and kind of build off of that to see who drafted the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think like a weird pick was Chris Duarte as well to the Pacers.
Yeah.
Mm, I'm not sure if he was worth that high of a pick. I think he was a first rounder, but he's also 24.
Right.
He's no like he's almost not even a prospect. He's
Yeah.
at the age like he's only like a
Like
few years younger than Steven
he's hit.
Adams.
Yeah, he's hitting his peak.
Yeah, which is kind of rough to think about because you don't know how long he's going to be in the league for because
Right.
not he's not young like some of these other guys are.
Yeah. Like he could be in the league for 3 4 years and loses all his value.
Yep, absolutely. Um, yeah, that's really kind of all I got as far as
Hmm.
that topic. Should we move on to the next one, the free agent thoughts?
Yeah. Let's get into free agency.
Yeah, so I think one of the obviously as of today, um, I think the last trade that we saw was Dinwiddie going to the Wizards.
Yeah, that was kind of underwhelming. I mean, they got Dinwiddie for Chandler Hutchinson and second rounder.
Yeah, which is I feel like really nice value. Um, and
Uh,
it's hard to say because he's coming off an injury, but I feel like the Wizards did a nice job of replacing Westbrook.
yeah.
Uh, they're kind of like, you know what, this is Brad Beal's team now. Like, let's try to like get him some young guys to build around that he can like help bring up.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm really interested in seeing how some of their prospects do, like Rui Hachimura, Denny Avija,
Hmm.
because I think they're both good. I don't think Rui's as bad as people say he is. I think he still has really nice potential. But like they got who did they get? KCP, Kuzma, and Harrell, I think.
I
Yeah,
believe so. That was the deal.
which isn't bad either.
Yeah.
But I think it might do Kuzma well to get a fresh start.
Hmm.
Because I just think LA was just not the place for him.
All
Uh,
right.
so yeah, I like the moves they made. I don't know if they'll be playoffs. They might be borderline. Um, but it's going to be interesting to see how the East plays out.
It definitely will be. There's some media dudes saying that like the era of the East being historically weak is over. Like this is the East time to be stacked.
Yeah, and I think that's um totally true. I think that the Celtics made some smart moves.
Mm-hmm.
I
Getting
don't
Horford
I
back
don't
is so
think the
nice.
76ers did. Uh,
No.
they did horrible.
Simmons Drummond's rotations, baby.
Yeah, that's just like horrifying to think about offensively. Even I mean, Drummond's not all that on defense either.
Yeah,
So,
he gets cooked a lot.
um, someone also said, imagine the Simmons, Tybal, Drummond rotations. It's like,
Gosh.
oh man,
Gosh. Imagine Simmons trying to run full court and then Drummond just starts camping in the post.
yeah. I mean, that's just not that doesn't synergize well, for
No.
lack of a better term. Like Simmons, like one positive I feel in offense is he's super good in transition. So
Oh yeah. Super good
Drummond
fast break runner.
or like Drummond runs the court well and just misses a layup. Like that's a Drummond type move. Like
Yeah.
he misses easy shots a lot.
Mm,
Uh, he's just very. It seems like his play style is like super outdated. Um,
mm,
like I feel like he might have been a good center in like the 70s. Um,
yeah.
but yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
but I think we can segue from the Sixers into the Sixers signing Drummond to the team that previously had Drummond. The Lakers did a
The
fantastic.
Lakers, yeah, Lakers did great. Like
Yep,
I said this before, I was worried about Westbrook LeBron as an offense. Now it feels maximized.
yep. Getting Kendrick Nunn, getting Malik Monk, re-signing Taylor Horton Tucker, even signing Carmelo. Like I just feel like Carmelo and LeBron have been longtime friends. They've always wanted to play together, so I feel like
Yep.
this is the perfect time for them to do that.
Oh yeah.
Um, because time's running out on both of their careers, so it might be cool to see them maybe win together or something.
Yeah.
I usually root for whatever team Carmelo's on, just because of Syracuse and obviously everything he meant to us here, winning the championship, and
Mm,
um, so I do hope for him to be able to have success with the Lakers. But they really did a good job. They got spacers, which is exactly what you need.
mhm.
Uh, I feel like even when we're like, not to go all ATD brain here or anything, but like when we're building teams, like when you're building a LeBron team,
You go
it's really,
shooters.
really good to just get LeBron and spacers because
Mm-hmm.
his driving's so dominant.
Yep.
He could kick out to any one of any one of those guys. Like you could get a center like Horford or like Carl Anthony Towns, and you're gonna score a lot because it
Mm,
maximizes him.
yep.
Uh,
You got to play off his gravity and create.
yep, and I feel like this is exactly what the Lakers did. Usually the Lakers just make weird deals that make no sense. But
Right.
these weirdly felt like they made sense. And I think like Monk and Nunn will have career years because of who they're playing with. Um, and that's good. So
Yeah, it's definitely a team that I don't know if it's best to say they're at their like best potential build, but they've definitely hit like the right points.
yeah, and obviously they're an older team, so some of these guys aren't going to stick around. But I feel like they can keep Monk and Nunn around, and they'll have AD pretty. I feel like they'll have AD forever.
Mm-hmm.
He's always wanted to be a Laker, so
Yep.
you know they have the right pieces.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of these guys are getting towards the end of their careers, like Dwight and Carmelo, and even LeBron. So it will be pretty neat to see them compete next year.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna watch a fair amount of Lakers games because I'm a LeBron fan. I was really happy to see him bring a ring to Cleveland. So seeing him
Yeah,
get ring 5 would be great.
yeah. You're a Cleveland fan, so I can
Yes,
understand
sir. Yes, sir. Go
a little
Cavs.
bit. I've been iffy on LeBron his whole career. I didn't like how he went out the first time with Cleveland.
Yeah.
That was pretty immature, but hey,
I'm taking my talents to South Beach.
yeah, those were some pretty they were okay.
Cringe. Cringe. It was cringe.
Yeah, it sucked for the city of Cleveland because he meant everything.
Mm,
So
yeah.
you know, uh,
Never forget when an NBA player was a city's entire economy.
pretty much, yeah, absolutely. Um, but yeah, him bringing that title back there, I felt like redeemed it
Yep.
for him. And I think he made it pretty clear, like, hey, we need to get players because I'm not going to be playing with the same type of supporting cast I had back like in '09, that
Mm,
era, because those were
yeah.
some bad teams that had LeBron. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how the Lakers do. I'm even interested in seeing how the Cavs do this year. Just to bring them up quick because they got Jared Allen for 100 mil,
Too
which
much. Too much.
it's too much. But I'm interested in seeing um how that goes. Especially next to Evan Mobley, who is going to be
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. I'm Mike. I know this is gonna be a potentially funny take, but I'm most excited about Ricky Rubio right now.
I mean, yeah, he's a nice guy to have come off the bench.
Yeah. He really benefits the game of your scoring guards.
Yeah, yeah, I can agree with that. Um, I also I also liked I think you mentioned yesterday like possibly trading Colin Sexton, which I think would be pretty good for that franchise.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's really one dimensional.
Hmm.
And you need something more than just a one dimensional scorer. Like he can be a role player, but I don't feel like he can be the guy in Cleveland.
No, he's
Um,
not the franchise player he wants to be.
Correct.
That can change. He's only like 22, but I don't really see that high of a ceiling for him.
No, I think that Garland has definitely a higher ceiling than him.
Yeah, very much
I'm
so.
interested in seeing what Darius does for Cleveland, but
His passing leap was pretty big this year. I think he'll take another one.
yeah, I can totally see that. But yeah, and then just to continue on the topic of our teams doing well in free agency, I thought the Kings did well.
Hmm.
Um, there is some question about uh, if Holmes is actually going to sign or not. Even though it's
Hope
been
so.
confirmed that he does, yeah, I hope he does. but there was some controversy over what his contract. Like, we can't pay him $55 million, which is just like, okay.
Yeah, that's bad.
But hey, Kangs are gonna Kangs, so
Kings are gonna kings.
yep. But they did a good job just bringing back some good guys. Just getting another body in Alex Len. I know he's not the greatest player in the world, but he's just there. And then we re-signed Terrence Davis today, which is nice as well. He can definitely play real well.
Yeah.
I think the two teams that I thought did the weirdest job during free agency, and weird can be taken in a good way or a bad way. I feel like the Bulls and the Knicks were just like really odd.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Like I'm gonna internally bully Fed about the Evan Fournier signing. Like
like,
imagine paying Evan Fournier that much money.
like Fournier was the right player for them,
Just
but
not worth that much.
no, not worth it. That was a huge overpay. Fournier got that Mozgov money, man. Like,
Yeah, for
um,
sure.
there's been some bad deals over the years. I know Luol Deng's deal was pretty memed. But yeah, the Bulls and the Knicks. The Knicks, I know they got Kemba today,
Mm-hmm.
which is neat, but you're also not getting like Charlotte Kemba. So,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much what you're gonna get out of him, if anything. But I think they made the right moves. It kind of takes the pressure off Julius Randle a little bit, which I think could help his overall game. Um, because he was the whole offense for them. And I think that with shooters like Walker and with Fournier, that kind of takes the pressure off him feeling the need to just do everything.
Yeah.
Um,
It's definitely interesting. I'm intrigued to see where it goes.
yeah, it can either go good or it can go bad. That's basically
Yeah.
what I meant by weird job, and that's how I
Mm-hmm.
feel about the Bulls too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they could either be really good or they could be really
Terrible.
bad
Yeah.
because their defense could just be
Dumb.
one of the worst ever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just thinking about Lonzo, Levine, um, DeRozan, Laurie Markkinen, and Vucevic lineups, just that D rating is going to be through the roof. Like, it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
bad. Um,
Yeah. It's you're not in a good place when you're pretty much looking up to Patrick Williams to be your Bill Russell.
yeah, and you know, Pat Williams is a decent defender. Well, he's actually a really good defender, but
Mm,
again, he's not he's not Bill Russell.
no,
He's not even. God, I don't even know. He's not even going to be close to any of these guys. But
he's not even Isaac Okoro.
okay.
He's not
Um,
even.
but they could either do really well or they could just be horrible. I do like the idea of Lonzo and Levine, but beyond that, I'm a little iffy on how they're gonna end up.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely weird. I don't think like some people are going as far as say Bulls are winning the chip. I'm like, no, they're not.
Yeah, I don't know. I
No, they're
don't know why
not.
people think that. Um,
DeMar DeRozan is gonna shoot him out of the first round.
yeah, that's the issue.
Playoff DeMar.
um,
That's why I think like DeMar DeRozan is probably like an MLE player.
yeah, he might be. I've always
Like,
liked him. He had an interesting come up, and he meant a lot to Toronto and stuff.
yeah,
But yeah, he right now just he's getting older. his playmaking's gotten better, but again, his playoff shooting is just horrendous.
Yeah, like it should be a thing to where when if I'm an NBA GM, I'm gonna factor playoff value into my contracts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Like
Um,
I don't care how good you are in the regular season. If you're gonna stink up the playoffs, you're getting less of a contract from me,
yeah. Yep.
which is exactly DeMar DeRozan's problem.
Yep. Well, maybe he can have a redeem year or something. You
I
never know.
hope so. I think
Um,
back in the all-time draft thing, I think if DeMar DeRozan has a good regular season and finally proves that he can be resilient, do you think he's takeable for $1?
I mean, it would have to be like it would have to be a pretty damn good playoffs run for me to want to take him. But
Yeah.
he's I feel like he is decently draftable just because of his playmaking.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Say, like, not even like he rises, but you say he's the same decent scorer, decent playmaker, decent mid range shot. Like, would it be worth taking for $1?
For $1, I think it's fine. Yeah. Um,
Because, like, when you factor his playoffs, he's pretty much like a 25-cent player.
if that. You know, it's hard in terms of ATDs how we pick these guys because there's so many players all time
Yeah.
that you can pick from.
Yeah.
And DeRozan, that's why like I today picked Luguentz Dort, Lou Dort for short, I guess.
Lugens Fort.
But like he's worth $1 to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
His defense is really good. He shoots threes at a high volume. I like him a lot. So it's funny when you think about it that like a player like DeMar DeRozan, who's probably better than Lou Dort, like just in general,
Just doesn't
like
get taken.
doesn't get taken, but Lou Dort, because of his specific skill set where he's elite at, he gets taken. Same thing with Andre Roberson or
Yeah.
now Matisse Thybulle or just any of those guys that are more defensive oriented or just have a specific skill set. They get taken. Whereas a guy like DeRozan, who's high volume, doesn't exactly shoot the three ball well.
No.
Has a horrible playoffs, but overall is a really good player. They don't get taken.
Yeah.
Because you don't really need that off the bench all the time. You need like one of those guys. DeRozan isn't that guy you're gonna want.
No, because like at the same time, I feel like with how talented DeRozan is, sometimes it doesn't translate into impact.
Yeah, I understand that. It's just really interesting to see who gets taken, who doesn't. Even Larry Nance Jr. is now getting taken, which is
It's just good.
He's good. He's not better overall than DeMar DeRozan,
Yes,
though.
yes, he is.
Okay,
He's
bias Cavs
he's
fan.
he's above average passer for a big. He spaces the floor fine. He's really good defender that elevated the Cavs defense. Knows his role on offense.
Yeah, he's a good player. I'm just saying, like
DeMar DeRozan is not.
he is. DeMar DeRozan's a good player. He's a top 50. He's a top 50 player.
You heard it here first. Vibe Central from me, Mr. Kev DeMar DeRozan is dumb. Stink.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's our show.
You heard it here. DeMar DeRozan is bad. He
heard it
raised
here
my
first.
taxes. He burned my crops.
I think another team that did a weird job, but also like it wasn't that bad, were the Jazz.
Yeah.
The one signing that made no sense was signing Hassan Whiteside.
Let's get Rudy Gobert with no impact.
to replace Derek Favors.
Yeah.
I don't know if they think like, oh, maybe this will motivate him being on a competitive team. But no, it won't.
No.
It will not at all.
Like he's a player. He only cares about the contract. That's his
Yeah,
entire play style.
yeah. He has some value, but that value is mostly diminished now. I feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was an odd signing.
It really was.
I would have rather had Favors back than him.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. I
um,
remember years ago when or all the social media people were hyping up that Hassan Whiteside was pretty much going to become Rasheed Wallace and have a three ball.
have you seen Hassan Whiteside shoot?
There's so many videos of him online, like practicing outside on like private courts, just three ball.
Hmm. Yeah, I saw a video of Drummond like that too. They're like, "Oh my god, Andre Drummond's hitting threes now? What?" It's
And
like,
then he doesn't.
bro, like I think anyone can shoot threes. If you're an NBA player in an open gym, you better be making threes. Like, I'm sorry,
Right.
but like in a
Right.
game, it's completely different.
Yep. More
Um,
pressure.
but I did like the moves they made, getting Rudy Gay and getting
Mm-hmm.
Eric
Not
Pascal.
that guy. Yeah.
I think those were interesting moves because now they have three guys off the bench. I know you don't like Jordan Clarkson, but Jordan Clarkson,
Yeah.
Joe Ingles, and Rudy Gay now that can all be high impact off the bench. You know, Ingles is more of the playmaking, high efficiency scoring. Clarkson being the more sporadic shooter, but also like can heat up at the right moment and drop like 50 on you.
Yeah.
Uh, and then Rudy Gay is just really consistent. I feel he's always been pretty consistent.
For sure.
And then Pascal's interesting too. I always liked watching him in college.
Mm.
So seeing him now, it's kind of interesting because he had a decent rookie year with the Warriors. I know last year he really didn't play, but yeah, I thought those were some good moves. And then the Hassan Whiteside move just baffled me. Just baffled the shit out of
Yeah. Like they're gonna be playing like the bad Rudy Gobert.
me. Mm-hmm. Yep. Um. So Rudy better expect a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
Because Whiteside just stops trying at certain points. So
He really does. Like it's just like Andre Drummond.
yep. Except worse. Like he's actually
Worse. Yep.
he like legitimately will stop. And like the thing is though too, like Hassan Whiteside, I know last year with the Kings, he had one game where he just went off. And it was
Mm-hmm.
for like no no particular reason. It felt like it was just like a good game from Hassan,
Mm-hmm.
which you don't really see from him all that much. Yeah, he
He only
had
does that when it's pay year.
yeah he had 26 points, 12 of 15 shooting, 16 rebounds,
Oh my
an
goodness.
assist, and 5 blocks. He had a game score of 28.5, which is like really good. Um,
Yeah.
and he did it against Brooklyn, um,
Mm.
which obviously they had a bad defense, but like still like crazy that he was able to have like just one of those random games where he just went off.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was inactive for a lot of the season. We just didn't play him because Rashawn Holmes just was so good and efficient for us.
Right.
But yeah, that was funny when he did that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I think he'll probably just barely play. Like he'll probably just exist.
yeah, I don't even know. Like, I'm assuming he's their backup center.
Yeah, I guess.
Like I
But
don't see who else would be there as
they,
this other center.
they gotta hope they're playing Gobert like 42 minutes a game.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm trying to think if they have anybody else.
Mm,
I'm looking at their roster from last season. Obviously,
hmm
Favors is gone. Oh, they have Doke. They have Udoka Azubuike.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I'm like, where is he from?
yeah,
Uh,
they have some questionable players here. They
How's
have
a book?
Ersan Ilyasova. He might be interesting. He could probably
Oh
play.
yeah, he still plays.
Yep,
Hmm.
34 years old.
He's that young?
Young,
I thought he was
yes,
older.
I guess. Um, but they also got some. They just have one of the better shooting teams for sure.
Yeah, Utah's spacing is once again just gonna be really good.
Yep, and then Gobert's vertical spacing and his just roll game is so valuable and good.
Mm,
I see them being a high seed again.
yeah,
I
when
don't know
you,
if they'll be number one, but
I think they can be when you consider the fact that like Mitchell just randomly like took a leap in the second half of the season. If he keeps that momentum, they're gonna look great.
yeah, I think so too. It's just gonna depend on how the Lakers do, how the Warriors do, how the Nuggets do,
Yeah.
how the Suns do. Like these are all teams that I feel like should see improvements.
Yep.
The Suns re-signing Chris Paul, they're gonna try to run it back.
Did the Suns change anything this year?
I thought they got somebody like that would be like a good piece. I'm trying to think what his name is.
It feels
Uh,
like they didn't get anyone.
I I thought they got some. I know they re-signed Campaign.
Campaign. Yep.
Funny name. Uh,
Funny campaign.
yeah. Let me look quick. Um, yeah, I think that they will be interesting to see. They got the same squad pretty much.
hmm
Oh, they got Landry Shamet.
Oh,
Um,
well, what a game changer.
hey, you know what? He adds another shooting level to that team. Um,
Yeah, I guess.
yeah, I mean it's just again for certain situations.
Yeah, someone for Chris Paul to hit, I guess.
Yeah. Um, I really like their roster. You know, CP3, Booker, Bridges, Cam Johnson, DeAndre DeAndre Ayton, almost said DeAndre Jordan. Jesus. Uh, Campaign, like they're all just good players, and Payne especially was a really nice surprise.
Yeah, for sure.
But we'll see what happens. You know, there's teams in the West that improved, so I don't know how well they'll do. Just with the same team basically. Um,
I think it'll be interesting to see if Gobert's defense just gets better.
yep. Which I think it could. I mean, Gobert could potentially win like 5 or 6 defensive player of the years, I feel.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean those are really the teams that I felt like. Oh, I should mention quickly, like New Orleans, like just
Sold.
yeah, they did
Folded.
not do good.
Fumbled the bag.
I saw today the report came out they tried to bring Chris Paul back to New Orleans, which would have been
Yeah. And supposedly
pretty.
Chris Paul apparently he actually like listened to him.
Yeah, which I think is interesting. Which would have been a lot more fun
Yeah.
down there in New Orleans if it
That
wasn't.
gosh, that fit would have been monster good.
Yeah. Um, but they got Devonte Graham instead, so clear upgrade.
Clear upgrade. Like it's that like Graham is even as good as Lonzo Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like the only like real upgrade I see from New Orleans is Jonas. That opens up the floor a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah. I do think that Devonte Graham might be a bit more valuable to that team than Eric Bledsoe would ever
Oh
be.
well, yeah. Bledsoe ruined that team. He made it worse.
Yep. So I think like with Graham spacing, Zion's improved playmaking. You know, Graham doesn't need to drive as much because he's just horrendous at that.
Yeah.
I think that they could surprise some teams, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they're like not even in contention.
Yeah. But I think they'll be like end of playoff team, like borderline or like just barely in.
Yeah, I could see their potential being like 10 seed playing, but who knows?
Yeah.
Um, hopefully they do something because just thinking about that defense as well, it could just be awful.
Yeah. Ugly.
um, it being Graham, Nikhil Alexander Walker, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, and Jonas Valanciunas. It's yikes.
Yeah. It's. Oh,
Oh,
and a little bit fun news: Mike D'Antoni is now with the Pelicans.
yes, I did see
That
that.
that could be really good.
Yeah, especially with their offense, like he could
Yeah.
definitely do
Like
some cool shit with
like
them.
Zion could just straight up go like Kevin McHale mode this year, and just go like efficiency everywhere.
Yep, absolutely. Um, Kevin McHale with better playmaking.
Whoa! Liam's gonna come out our heads. Liam, I'm sorry, we did not mean it. Do not
Kevin,
send me death threats, please.
I don't think Liam would do that.
He wouldn't.
No.
Liam, me and you were best friends. No, we're not, but we'll go with that.
Jesus. Oh man. No, Kevin McHale's playmaking was pretty good.
Yeah,
He really didn't need to pass.
yeah, that was the thing. That's what I talked about last week. Is that Kevin McHale's passing is underrated because he was the weakest passer on a historically great passing team.
Exactly. Yeah. It's who he is.
Like,
He really didn't need to pass at
no,
all. Um
as the ball was moving, it was passing to him.
yep. Yippers. So should we get into the final topic?
Yeah, let's get this budget challenge going.
Yeah, so this week
Budget challenge.
in this week's budget
Bu-
challenge, in the
Budget
spirit of the
challenge.
draft and in spirit of just roasting the
Budget
New
challenge.
Orleans Pelicans, um, we're building a Zion Williamson team.
Zion Williamson team. Yes.
We have $100. Zion is $14 on our ADP sheet. So we have $86 to spend. Kev, why don't you share your team?
All right, so here is the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's a historically great team I built. I have Steph Curry, Drew Holiday, Shane Battier, Zion Williamson, and Dave Cowens. Then for
Mm,
my bench, I have Jameer Nelson, Bobby Phillips, Foshan Leonard, Anthony Mason, and Vlade Divac.
interesting. I like the playmaking off the bench. Towns is interesting next to Zion.
Mm-hmm.
You want a good defensive center around Zion. Cowens is a good defensive center.
It's
Then
like I feel like Holiday, Battier, Cowens is pretty solid as a defensive core.
yep, and then you got Steph, who's Steph and can make any offense just
Work,
phenomenal.
yeah.
Yep.
Like Steph, like the number one thing about Steph Curry is that Steph Curry makes a lot of bigs work perfectly. Like imagine Steph just being this ultra floor spacer, but then Zion Williamson's on the floor with him.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think
Mm-hmm.
about. But um, yeah, that was a good team. I liked it.
Thank you.
So my team, I wanted to get a good spacing team around Zion, because I think that's key. So it opens the floor for him.
Mm-hmm.
So I got Derek Harper, a good defender, also a decent shooter. I got Ray Allen, who's obviously just a decent shooter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
uh, Paul Pressey for the defense, Zion Williamson for the power forward, AD at center, Isaiah Thomas off the bench for that nice scoring, downtown Freddie Brown, Bobby Phills, uh, Larry Johnson to kind of bring that same dynamic Zion has into the game, and then
Yeah.
Yusuf Nurkic for $3 is always, I feel like, good value.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just saw what you changed the name to on the sheet. Anthony Disney. That's good. That's good. um, gotta get some laughs in here, you know. That's
Yeah.
that's the spirit.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I just wanted good spacing around him. AD, Anthony Day-to-Day Davis gets you that gets you that nice spacing. Presti's an okay spacer, nice playmaker, good defender.
Yeah.
Allen's a decent defender. Obviously
Mm,
a good shooter. Harper's a good
yeah.
defender, good shooter. So I liked it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a really good team. It's a really good offensive situation. Obviously, I'll always boost IT4 off the bench.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, unironically, if you see IT4 Zion, man, it's IT4's creation and floor openings gonna be really nice there.
Yeah. Yep. He's a really nice $3 value player. And I don't think he should be any more than that.
Oh,
You know.
he's better than Trae Young.
Oh wow. I'm not a big Trae Young fan, but I have to say I disagree.
Okay. In the context that 1920 Trae was like $7.
Yeah, I
Like,
still think Trae is probably a better offensive player than him.
yeah, like a 2021 Trae, obviously I get because of playmaking, but the gap between 1920 Trae and IT4 shouldn't have been like $4.
Yeah, maybe,
Maybe.
but yeah,
Yeah.
I think this was a good episode, seeing that we had to, redo the whole thing.
Yeah, apologies in advance. I probably sounded really tired this episode.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired too, but got some good points in there.
Yeah,
We basically tried to say what we said yesterday.
pretty
But
much.
we
But yeah,
it was a rough rough first cut.
yeah. Well,
Especially when Craig just decided to go kaput mid.
yeah. So we'll throw this in here. We'll let you guys know we were recording the night before this, so it will have been Tuesday.
Yep.
And the bot just cuts out. Like our recording bot just cuts out mid episode. We're like, well, shit.
Yeah, and I was gonna add a little thing in there, but after listening to
And
some
everything died.
audio, it was
Everything died.
better.
Yeah.
But as I said, you learn from these mistakes, you grow, you'll get better. This was, you had to redo it. That's all right.
Right.
We
That's
we got her done.
right.
Uh,
Let's hope this time when recording I don't sound like a grandpa eating Captain Crunch. Like let's hope for the best audio wise.
yeah. Next week I should have my mic working, so I feel like my audio will be a lot better.
Yeah.
Instead of just my internal mic.
I need to get like an actual microphone for these. I just have my iPhone.
Yeah. It would definitely probably help out the quality, I guess, of the podcast.
Yeah, I guess, but that's the fun
Hey,
of it. We're just winging it. We're having fun.
we're having fun.
We're
That's the
having
whole long as we're having fun, it's a success.
Yeah, that's the point.
It's
No
crazy
matter,
to think
yeah,
that we've been doing this for a month and a half already.
yeah,
And we've been consistent with it, so we're
yeah,
pretty happy.
yeah. It's
Especially with everything, being the summer and stuff, so pretty
yep,
happy.
yep.
But this
Even
was
through the school year, I think we should try to keep this going.
oh yeah, absolutely. I feel like I'll be able to make that time, even
Yeah,
though I'm not in school, but I am studying to go to law school. So
no school.
uh,
I am in school, sadly. I've got college classes this year. It makes you want to vomit.
very sadly that you have to say that you're still in classes. Just very sad, very unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. Put it up on the chat. Edited in just a gravestone that says Kev has to do classes. We, that probably won't go in there, but it's funny in thought.
Yeah. Well, maybe I can muster up some editing powers and do that.
Okay.
Before we sign off, quick shout out to Liam for his championship team, Team Canada.
Yes, yes,
Really nice
yes.
squad, deserving champion. Nice job.
Good job, Liam. Like
Yes.
I said yesterday, we'll edit in. We'll give you like a beautiful GIF of the Canadian flag. We'll throw like a bag of milk in there. Um, we'll make this presentation perfect.
I'm not sure it's gonna beat Sully's big giant eagle behind his Team USA team, but
No,
I'll figure something out. I'll find something to work
we'll
with.
we'll we'll make it pretty. We'll make it beautiful.
Yes. But yeah, I think this
Mm,
was a good episode.
it was.
Next week we'll get into some more basketballish type topics. But
Yeah, we'll get more in like a mesh of just general basketball and ATD.
yep. So this was a good episode. We
Yeah,
will see y'all next week.
we will see you next week. Peace.
Peace.